You're on the mic with
Yeah.
Auntie. I want to talk about maybe about a week ago I have referenced in passing jokingly a guy being a king,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it was very much so jokingly because pretty much he doesn't have his stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I technically would like to speak about how we're referencing a lot of people as queens and kings today,
Mm-hmm.
but they're really not exactly walking in that space.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Um, so we have our kings, right?
Mm-hmm.
And someone said, but by definition, what is a king, right?
True.
Um, does a king teach? What does he have to give?
Hmm.
What do you say? Do you
Well,
think?
a king.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my definition of king would be a person who would be a leader,
Mm-hmm.
first of all, a leader of men, um, and be able to be a protector of his queen and his family. He's stern enough to get that to earn that respect as a king, but yet he has empathy to understand things are going on with his queen and his prince and his princesses, which is his family,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and be able to migrate between all of them and still be a king.
So in today's world, when you look at yourself versus the average man,
Oh,
right?
mm-hmm.
How do we make that difference today?
Okay,
Because we got to break it down.
we
Because
have to
we
break
got
it
to
down.
talk about what's
Oh
really
Lord.
like, what's the reality of today, right? Because we basically are saying we're common folk walking around
Mm-hmm.
with people who are just not as common as the common folk. Like, what's how
Yeah.
the song goes? There's levels to it,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
Because it's
Yes.
still, to this day, there's levels to all of this,
Mm-hmm. It
right?
is.
And
Yes.
we might not be dressed all the way up to wear a crown every day when you're walking down the street,
Mm-hmm.
but we're not all the same.
No, no, we're not. And I think the term king has been thrown around a lot
Mhm.
nowadays.
Mhm.
And it's truly been watered down.
At the little diluted.
It's
Absolutely.
really diluted. It's almost like I want to get a shot of Cavassier, and really somebody dropped a whole bag of ice in it, or much ice you can fit in the glass. Now you're
Uh-huh.
just saying, I'm thinking some alcohol in it, but I just can't quite taste it.
Right.
That's what the new kings, new seem to me. And the new kings to me are, I'm just going to just divide it. You have guys who use the term a lot. I'm the king and I deserve this, this, and this. But you can't even do the simple things to even be considered a king.
Mhm.
You even considered, you're more of a joker than a king because you use the term, but one, you don't lead men, you don't lead people, and you can't take care of your queen, and you can't take care of your little princess and your little princesses, and you're so stuck in a particular mindset that you're not even open to saying, or somebody say, "Hey, I don't think you're a king," and you're like, "Well, I know I'm a king because I'm a man and I'm a." No, a king is more than just being a man. If that's the case, every guy is a king. I'm gonna say this: every man can't be a king.
Say cannot.
Cannot. Every
Uh-huh.
man cannot be a king.
Are these all self-proclaimed?
Yes, yes. These are
Uh-huh.
all people who somehow in their minds, someone told them, "You're the man, or you're this, and you that." Okay,
Yeah.
but if you really step back outside that, real kings, I'm an OG king.
Mhm.
So an OG king can look at a king, an up and coming king, and says he's missing something. And if the young king is a smart king and a real king, he'll listen to the OG king like me and tell who's going to tell them what is it going to take for you to become a king and eventually an OG king.
In other words, one who's willing to receive a lesson. Uh-huh.
These young quote unquote kings, I put it in parentheses, kings, um, they lack a lot. And I think it starts early. I mean, you can't be a king unless someone teaches you all the proper etiquette to be a king.
Right. Right.
So if you're not surrounded by other kings or older kings or OG kings,
Right.
it's really hard for you to become a king because
So it's not something you just figure out
oh
along the way.
no
It's not something you just self-taught.
no.
Uh-huh.
Somebody has to teach you.
Yeah.
Um, and the kings you learn from, they have their pros and their cons. And it's
Mhm.
really up to you to really get the core of what it is to be a king. And the core is really leadership and accountability is basically the key to me of being a king. You have to be accountable. You have so many quote unquote kings that's not accountable for anything. If something goes wrong, they're gonna blame somebody. My mama
Absolutely.
or my daddy wasn't there. My mama
Uh-huh.
was this and my dad. Okay,
Uh-huh.
you know
Something didn't go right.
something didn't go right.
Something didn't go right
Some,
along the way. So
nope.
by the time you're 42,
Mm-hmm.
it's still everybody else's fault.
Everybody's fault.
Uh-huh.
And so now you got people like that calling themselves kings because it's been diluted so much that they're like, oh, they don't realize in their mind they're really a joker. They're really a
Mm-hmm.
pawn. They're not even nowhere near a king, but they have to have something to hold on to show like I am somebody. I am a leader. I am this. If you think about it, real leaders don't tell you they're leaders. They just lead.
Absolutely not.
When a real man, a real king, runs his court,
Mm-hmm.
everybody knows he's king.
Uh-huh.
He don't go out there and say, I'm the king, and he was a shirt called king, or get a Burger King hat and put the hat on, walk around. You say, I'm a king.
Put a crown on.
You put the
Just
crown
find
on.
one.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I'm
Just
King
find
Midas.
one.
I'm king. No, you're not. No, you're not.
No.
You're playing a role. You're role playing.
Absolutely.
You're
It's like a
definitely
child's play.
exactly.
Uh-huh.
So what you have to do is, I'm going to say this: when you want to be something, you have to go to the people who are. If I want to be a business person and I don't know anybody around me that is a business person,
Mm-hmm.
that means I have to search for them, or I have to do the research of what it
You have
takes to
to
be a
seek
businessman.
out.
I have to seek out. You have to seek out what you want to be. It doesn't come to you.
Right.
It's never going to come to you. You can't be a
Right.
queen unless someone teaches you to be a queen, or you say, you know what? I need to be better. I need to be cherished. I need to be loved. I need to be, looked upon as, the role model
Yeah.
king, queen that I am.
Yeah.
So you have to search for that. But the problem is everybody don't want to do the work. If you're fortunate enough to have someone to raise you to be a king, you're blessed
Yeah.
because you have someone who did the dirty work, did the hard work, and they're going to tell you different things, the core of how to be a king.
Well, they're going to instill certain things in you.
Exactly.
So you have a certain level of discipline that the next person doesn't have.
There
So
you
when it's
go.
time to do the work, you've been doing the work.
Yes,
Whereas the
exactly.
other person looks at you like, I'm not willing to do that. That's the work.
And that's the problem
Yeah.
because this all takes work. No matter 1,000 years ago, 500 years ago, 100 years ago, today, 1,000 years down the road, the core never changes.
Mhm.
But you had to be grown enough to take that responsibility because that's a responsibility that a lot of them don't really want. They want the title, but they don't want the responsibility. It sounds
Right.
good.
Right.
It sounds good on IG, on YouTube, and all that stuff. I'm the king. I'm this. If I look at you, you're a joker at
Mhm.
best.
Mhm.
And then you expect me as a quote unquote king to get that queen. Well, it depends on who that person is. She may not. She may think she's a queen, but she's not.
Right.
She's never
Or
been taught.
the weird part is you're a joker and your expectation is to attract something that is a queen or something that's close to.
Think about this. If you are, I'm going to say a struggling college student, and a
Mhm.
guy comes on campus with a Mercedes Benz, dressed nice, smells nice, looks good,
Mhm.
and you look at the guys who are currently on campus walking around with, gym gear on, barely comb their hair, barely take a shower, just going through the motion of just being a college student, you're going to look at the guy in the Mercedes and say, hey, I want that
Yeah.
because I don't want what I currently see.
Yeah.
So you're going to do things to attract his attention.
Absolutely.
So, and you say, I'm going to strive to get that.
Absolutely.
Now you're not at that level per se yet. You're at a different level, but you say I'm gonna strive to do what
Mhm.
I need to do to be in his court or
Mhm.
be in his arena,
Mhm.
because I know if I get in his arena,
Mhm.
it opens my world to a lot of different things, and he should be able
Levels.
to teach me.
Levels.
Yes.
Let me get to his level
Mm-hmm.
because I
His
want to
level.
attract men like that. And
Yes.
it's still levels to it. Yeah.
Yes. 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 And you have to
Yes.
understand what level he's on
Yeah.
and what level you're currently on.
Mhm. Because you can't attain certain things without understanding certain concepts and working for certain things, right?
Exactly.
Um, Fancy cars, nice cars, you may be able to attain them,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to understand a few things to keep such things, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you can play on a different level that you didn't perhaps work for,
Mm-hmm.
but you're not going to be able to stay there for long.
No, no. And then you have
Mm-hmm.
to understand there's different types of kings too.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just one generic king.
Mm-hmm.
There's different types of kings, and some of those kings they have the core, but there's slight changes. You know, sometimes they rule their kingdoms by being aware of the needs of everybody within their court.
Uh-huh.
Then there's
Ideally.
and then there are ones who's like, you know what? I control my court based on power, based on what you can do for me,
Yep.
based on what I can get from you and how I can mold you to be what I need you to be.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be aware that there are kings like that. So
Mm-hmm.
you can't just say, "Oh, I want a king." So what kind of king are you going to get? The guy with the Mercedes, going back to him. You can say, "I want that," but you don't know what kind of king he is. You don't know how he got that money. You don't know how he got that Mercedes Benz or how he's looking. He could be a businessman, or he could be doing it
Hmm.
another way. You know, a way that morally you
You're
wouldn't
not
go for.
around. Yeah. You don't
And
want to
then,
be around for.
exactly. Then you want to find it.
Uh-huh.
Now understand this. Once you get in that world and you see how he became the king he is,
Mm-hmm.
that may be the point you say, I'm not the queen for him because he's at a level that I don't want to be in. It's not worth it. The money, the power, all that is not worth because I know what he does to get it. I know how he treats people. And again, that's why it says multiple types of kings.
Yeah.
So you have to understand.
In today's world, that's yeah, that's you leveling up and then you realizing that it was never worth it.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
After you
That's
don't,
what
after
they
you don't wasted your
like,
time
oh,
and
I
effort
thought
and
I
money.
leveled up and then you realize like I do not want this lifestyle.
And if he's a real
Yeah.
king, he understands this. He understands the game that he's putting out there. Because to be honest,
Mm-hmm.
when you're a king, a certain type of king, you know that I'm trying to manufacture my own happiness within my own court.
Right.
So I only want people that's going to make sure that I stay happy.
In other words, you're in control of the situation.
Control is always a part of it.
Yeah.
But the OG king, power, control doesn't concern him because you have gained so much just goodwill
Mm-hmm.
that the power is not even don't have to be told.
Mm-hmm.
It shows that you got the power.
Yeah.
You walk in a room, they said, damn, that guy has power. And but here's the thing. If you're that kind of power, people would gravitate towards you. They want to
Absolutely.
be around you. They
Absolutely.
want to know what makes you tick. If I can just get an ounce of information from you to make me a little better on my path to be a king, then I'm learning a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to understand, again, who the king is. You have to understand what kind of king you're dealing with. And a lot of people don't have a clue. A lot of people don't have, these young guys don't have a clue what it takes to do it. They think it's easy. It's almost like, I want to make $1 million a year. We all want to make $1 million a year.
Yeah, but are you
Do you
willing
do the
to do
work?
the work?
Are you going to do the work? And the work is not easy. And the work doesn't happen overnight. The work is consistent. It's constant. It drags out. It's down times. It's up times. It's hurt times. It's sore times. And you have to go through that because that builds up the substance of who you are. And you survive it.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to be scarred. And the most successful kings, if you took off their crown, you took off their clothes, there's scars all over their entire body. Their body, their spiritual body is scarred.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at, oh my God, they survived because they survived every scar. Because
Yeah.
a real king knows that they're going to be scarred. Because it's going to take you a lot to get there because it's not just given.
In other words, you've endured a journey. You've endured a journey. You've went on a journey.
Yes.
Yeah, you got the battle scars to show it,
Exactly.
to prove it, and you survived it all.
Survived it all because dead men don't get scars.
No, they just go in the dirt. And
They
that's
just
the end.
sew you up and you're done.
Yeah.
But real kings real OG kings have scars. And you look at it and it's beautiful to them.
Mm-hmm.
Because I survived.
Mm-hmm.
Because I went through hell and back.
It's beautiful to the women too.
If you know what you're looking for.
Yeah. The woman that's for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
The woman that's for you.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And she'll understand like, oh, my king went
Yeah.
through hell and
Yeah.
high water to get to where
Yeah.
he at. And he respects that because he could now be empathetic towards you.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other thing. The other thing is missing. It's not about, the control and the power. It's about empathy. You have to be empathetic. You have to know that if your queen is hurt, you may not know the type of hurt, but you should be there to say, hey, is
Mm-hmm.
there anything I can do
Mm-hmm.
to help you? Is there
Mm-hmm.
anything that I can do to soothe your soul or to help you get through this? I'm going to give you what I can give you. I can give you me being here, me listening
But
to
you
you.
still know how to provide for her needs.
You definitely have to
Yeah.
provide for her needs because
Yeah.
again, that's empathy. All this based on the scarring. Because the
Uh-huh.
scarring is you've been hurt.
Yeah.
As a true OG
Through
king,
your
you've been
experiences, you
hurt.
understand.
Yes, you went through
Uh-huh.
the experience. You survived the hurt. You know the scars were on you. You threw Epsom salt on it. You know it's gonna burn.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna put some what's that stuff back in the day? Macaro you put that on you.
I've
Iodine.
never. What is
You
this?
put that on your all. Just put it on you. It's gonna burn. It's gonna hurt. You're
Mm-hmm.
gonna be like, why did I even do this to me? But that's the
Mm-hmm.
only way you can heal, because you have to seal it. It's
Right.
gonna leave a scar. And you're gonna look down
Right.
and say, hey, I remember that scar. And you're gonna remember every scar OG kings get. They remember because they
Yeah.
went through it. They
Yeah.
know
Tells a
the emotion.
story.
It tells a story,
Yeah.
and it helped them grow to being the king that they
Their
are.
present day self.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Going back to the young guys now, they have to put in that work.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of them don't know how to put in that work because they're not surrounded by other kings or other the level of kings that they need to be in order to get there. They got low level kings. They got the level
Okay.
one king.
Okay.
I call them Burger King.
Oh,
They're Burger King.
wow.
They are fast food
Okay. So the
kings.
blind leading the blind still.
Basically,
Okay.
yes.
So you have to get outside of your immediate circle in order to level up. You have to go on that journey that we talked about.
You got to go on
You
a
can't
journey.
stay where you're at in
No,
order to become something that's great.
no,
And so while it sounds nice that everybody wants to be king and everybody wants to be regal,
mm-hmm.
yeah, that very I didn't know everybody's not a king. You're just not. I'm
No.
sorry.
And when they bring that to you, next time somebody tells you, say, well, I'm a king. So what makes you a king?
Yes.
And watch how because you really don't know. It sounded good. It came on a rap song.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody say, you need to be a king. And so if, somebody sang a rap song about being a king, that's me. Just like back in the day, a player, a hustler, all those terms.
Oh, we cleaned it up.
Yes.
We cleaned
We
it
cleaned it
up.
up from the hustler, the player,
Okay.
the old, that. So now you're a king.
Okay.
But it takes work to be a king.
Okay.
All levels, from even level one king, there's some work associated with it. Not much, but some work. To be at level 10 king, OG king, you had to survive a lot.
Okay.
You had to see a lot. You had to see a lot of pain, a lot of suffering. You had to go through a lot of pain, a lot of suffering in order to get there. And you had to learn from it. Because the other thing is you have to learn. You got to adapt. Because a lot of people go through pain, all of a sudden they cringe. It's like, I don't want no more pain. But see, that means you stop your journey. Because you get that first scar, it's like, oh, that's enough. That hurt. That hurt too much.
Yeah.
And now you walk into, I got that one scar across my chest and right in my heart.
You didn't
and
persevere through the pain and keep going to the end.
I survived it. And I look at him, I said, you bitch. What you talking about, man? You ain't survived nothing. When I take my jacket off, my shirt off, I got scars up and down the back like I've been whipped. But that's life whipping me.
Mm-hmm.
That's experience whipping me. That's situations whipping me.
Let me ask you this. Is the high-valued man that we reference today, is he the same as a king?
No.
Okay, so in comparison, how do we compare the two?
High value men are basically tied to materialism. High value men think that I make a lot of money, I can buy a lot of things, I can fly, I can go anywhere in the world I want to, I can do this, and this. They think money makes them the man. And so they tie their lives around making money. A king understands I'm a king no matter if I have money or don't have money, but I'm still going to be a king. And I'm going to still provide because I'm going to find a way to provide. I'm not going to just sit there and say, oh, I'm down to my last $100. I don't know what I'm going to do, and she going to leave me. Well, she going to leave you anyway because you picked the wrong woman. So because you're a high value man, remember? It's about that money.
Mm.
And that's what's always. If you think about it, you look at him. If you look at any high value man in this society, it's about the money. It's about the things, the jewelry, the clothes, this, the hoes. This. It's all about those things.
Mm.
But those things come and go. But kings understand it's not about the things. It's about what makes the person. It's what makes
Okay.
the lady. And if you lose your job today or tomorrow, will your attitude change as a high value man? Of course it will. Because your money's gone.
Yeah,
What makes you
because your
you
value is dictated off of how much you're bringing in.
exactly.
Uh-huh.
So
The more money you made, the more value that was brought to yourself.
there you go. So now you sit in the club talk about I'm sitting back at the VIP table.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna have any old body. You got to look a certain way, smell a certain way, walk a certain way. You
Right.
picky because now
Right.
you're like I can afford to be picky because what I got this Ace of Spades sitting here running to me about $300 a bottle.
Yeah.
I won't have any old somebody sitting at my table.
Whereas a king is born.
There you go. King is boring.
King
King
is
walks around
born.
and he's like
Yeah.
speaking to everybody, and then oh yeah, that's a nice guy.
Uh-huh.
But then there's an air about him. He
Uh-huh.
doesn't. He's like
Everybody wants to be around you.
everybody wants to be
Yeah.
around you because you're not trying to impress anybody with your things.
No.
Just you being there, you impress people.
Yep.
People want to sit and just have a conversation.
Yep.
This talk. Where you feel about things. And let me tell you the other thing about kings. Real OG kings know a little bit about everything. The guys, the high value guys, know a lot about nothing because their thing is always tied to making sure you get the money or making sure you get certain things so you can stay at a certain level.
Or they're the guys who are always talking as opposed to the people always listening. That makes
Always
a
talking.
difference. The person who knows just a little bit about everything,
Mm-hmm.
that's because they're willing to listen to, people from all walks of life.
That's how you grow.
Yeah.
If you sit back and you just walk around and listen to people, if you see someone, every time they make a comment, the high value guy makes a comment, and then somebody says something, and yeah, I already did that. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I already done that. No, you need to do this.
I
So
love
now,
that.
all of a sudden, you're like, damn, I can't get one word in. Damn, I'm trying to say something to you. So at that
you
point,
thought it was a conversation.
no, ain't no
You
conversation.
thought it was a
Oh,
conversation.
no, it's about me. It's
Yeah.
all about me and how much
Yeah.
money I make, how you ain't making that kind of money. If you listen to me, you make the kind of money I'm making.
Yeah. Do what I do.
Do what I do.
Yeah.
But that same high value man go home every night by himself. He goes home every night because why? He's so picky that he wants a certain type of person, a certain type of woman, a certain type of this. Well, it's kind of hard to find that because again, you're so picky. You don't pick
Yeah.
yourself out of nothing. You go home, nice 15,000 square foot penthouse. I'm not gonna throw that out there. You got, you sitting on the top penthouse, looking outside, drinking your cognac, smoking a nice cigar, with nobody.
Yeah. Ain't nobody gonna get half of my stuff. You already know
Yeah.
how it go.
Yes.
She not gonna get half of me.
No, not
Yeah.
gonna happen. Not gonna happen, Captain. So that's why you have to understand. Women have to understand high value men have those particular issues, and then there's a selfishness about them.
Right.
They don't, as long as you fit in my role, you're good. The moment you start to press outside of that, oh, you got problems. And then you trying to give me problems. I don't need no problems. I can find someone else that will sit there, be quiet, look pretty, and
Be my yes girl.
oh, you gotta be a yes.
Another
And
words.
surround yourself with yes people.
Uh-huh.
See, those guys surround themselves by guys like them to make them
Yes.
feel good because they all need each other to feel good.
Yes.
So that's what women gotta understand. You get those guys, that's what you're gonna get. A king, he might not be making $1 million a year. He may be making $50,000 a year, but he's cool with that 50 because he knows this is gonna give him a base, and he'll work on doing other things.
Okay.
But he's not
Absolutely.
impressed about impressing other people.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? My boy over here got a BMW. My boy over here got a Lambo.
He's humble.
Very
He's
humble.
humble.
And
Lives within his means.
yes.
Uh-huh.
Those
Takes
are
care of
kings.
the people he signed up to take care of.
There's a humbleness about him. There is the empathy about him. He listens to you. He wants to listen to you. He wants to learn from you. Because if you are a king, you're willing to listen to people because you want to make sure that their lives are better.
Yes.
You want to make
must
sure
listen to other people.
you have to, because again, you're gonna say to yourself, like, if your queen is going through some things, you're gonna say, what can I do to help her get through whatever? For instance, say she wants to go back to school. You
Yeah.
say I want. She want. You know,
Yeah, I
I'm
want to
tired
go
of this
back.
job.
Yeah,
I want.
yeah. Let's
I,
level up, babe.
I got to go become
Mhm.
a nurse. A I'm gonna say self-centered man, high value, self-centered. He gonna be like, what you gonna do to get yourself there? Because he ain't gonna spend his money.
You
I'm
got
gonna spend my
plenty of
money.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, we spend this money this way. Yeah.
What? And I don't know I'm be around with you long enough. And I don't even
Mhm.
feel that. And then if I have to do that, then you ain't my level anyway. Because if I have to
Yeah.
level you up,
Yeah.
nah, you should be already here.
And then, yeah, you're gonna be missing out on taking care of me.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
less time for me.
Yeah.
Now your king is gonna say, okay, what are we gonna do? What we need? Okay, I
Yes.
got
What
some
do
money
we
here.
need?
What do we need? I got
Yeah.
some money over here. What you trying to do? He's gonna try and say, oh, how long it's gonna take you? 4 years. Okay, we may have to get some loans. I may have to get a second job. You know, because I don't want you. I want you to concentrate on getting your your stuff. So if I got to pick up extra, I'm gonna pick up extra.
Right.
I'm gonna do
Right.
what I need to do. And we're gonna work together. So we may not go out a lot because we can't afford to. And you're gonna understand it because you say, hey, you know, he helped me get through school.
Right.
He's gonna be supportive. You know, those nights when you studying, he's gonna like, okay, you know what? You need something to eat. You haven't eaten? I'm gonna fix you something
I'm
to eat.
looking out for you.
Because he wants you, he knows that if you're better and you happier, you're making my life happier
Right. We're
and us
better.
better. And we're better as a
Yeah.
team and we can do things that we can move the earth together. That's the king. The self-centered man, the high-value
The high
man.
valued man.
So
Yeah.
this is why you have to be aware, which means you have to know what you're looking for. Women need to look at and say, oh, just don't take what he says to you and say, oh yeah, he's a no.
Mhm.
Look deeper than that.
Mhm.
Just sit back, be quiet, and watch.
Seek out your king. In other words.
Your
Yeah.
king,
Yeah.
not a king.
Stop
Your
looking for
king.
the high valued man. He's not
Yes.
looking for you.
Nope. And never will look for you.
He's not looking for you. Yeah.
No, because you got to fit. And the other thing is, you have to fit a certain lifestyle, a certain look for him. Which also means, as this high value man gets older, he becomes even more pickier. Because think about it. If he's a high value man at 35, he's going to look at certain women a certain way. The high value man at 45 is going to look at women a much different way
Right.
than the high value man at 55. Because at that point, he is so selective because at that point, he's got it all. So you have to fit into his mode in order for you to be in his world.
So what age group is he dating?
Oh, at
55,
55, he's definitely dating 30s.
30s.
Late 20s and 30s. And I'm going to tell you
Okay.
why. Because at a 55, you understand, that guy understands that when you get a woman in their 40s and 50s, they're pretty well set. They're pretty much who they are. So if I'm 55 and I don't really like what I see in the 40s, I don't want to deal with it because it's going to be hard to change them. It's going to be hard to mold them. It's going to be hard to, you know, it's like you're stuck in a mold, and I'm like, I got to do some
You already
double
know that this
D40.
is exactly what it is.
It is what it
or
is.
It's too much work for you to deal with it.
And I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I'm like, no. This is why I ended up at 55 and that kind of guy. Because I did all the work necessary to get here at 55. I'd be damned if I'm going to somebody 40 years old and tell me, girl, I'm this, that, and other thing. But what I'm thinking is, you 40. You probably had some kids. Probably had some relationships. And I don't really want, I'm not looking at you like that. I'm not looking at you as, I may date you. I may break you off, so something. But other than that, no, seriously? I'm looking at the 29, 30-year-old, because by that time she's still flexible where I can change her. I can mold her how I want her to be.
For a real relationship.
For a real relationship.
For a real relationship.
Because then if you say I want to have kids, which, you know, at 55, there's some guys that may not have a kid at 55. So you may say, you know what? She's 28, 29. I can mold her and maybe end up having a kid in a couple of years. 55. Now, his time is numbered. Because he knows damn well he'll be in his 60s and having a kid. Because then he realized at that point, he probably won't see the kid. He probably won't be able to see. I mean, realistically, men die earlier.
Math. Just doing the math.
Yeah, we're doing the math. Because men die earlier than women. 7 years younger than women overall. So he realizes that at 55, he's starting to look at legacy. Like, okay, what I'm going to do? If it's only me, who I'm going to pass this down to? So now if I find a nice younger woman that I can mold, who has a good foundation that I can, and she's willing to listen, and I'm willing to help her, then you can vibe and do something. and maybe have a kid in a year or so, a couple of years
Okay.
max,
Okay.
because you only get to be 58, 59, 60.
Yeah.
So and
Chewing
then,
off old sperm
it,
and acting like I was the problem.
oh, did you just go
No,
there?
I'm sorry. That's my bad.
Oh
Okay.
no, you
So
just
I
said,
was just
oh
curious.
no,
I was just curious.
oh no.
What happens when you have the high value woman,
Uh huh.
right? And she's 55.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is she dating the 29-year-old man the same way?
See, women, I think they think differently.
Like,
Obviously, think differently than we do. I
yeah.
think at 55, you're a woman. You're probably looking for someone who's established,
Right?
someone who's mature,
Okay.
someone you can have fun with, but yet make sure he can handle his own. Meaning that he just not coming in here just be his sugar mama, take care of him. He got to come with something,
Mhm. Mhm.
so we can have some fun and I can pull you in and pull you out whenever I feel like it because she can, because she has the money. She can pretty much do with that. But then she has to
Yeah.
understand that will he marry her? Will you marry him? Hard to say. It depends on what she's looking at. Um, you can kick it with him. Say, you
The
make
younger person.
younger person. You can kick it with
Uh-huh.
him. But then you run into the issue of how young.
So the high valued woman is not the sugar mama.
I wouldn't consider her a sugar mama because at that point she's pretty well established and she pretty
Uh-huh.
much know what she wants. So she's gonna say, "I want this," and she's not gonna deal with anything else. She's like, first of all, I ain't had no babies. I'm 55, so that's out the picture. So you
Then you gotta worry about that.
nope, ain't gonna worry about that.
Uh-huh.
So he better not be silly, not be, a silly dude, because I don't want to be, I can't get at this level and deal with a silly dude.
Yeah, because that's exhausting.
Yeah, and I don't want to
Okay.
deal with that. And then he be out there playing around. I'm too old to deal with that. So I want somebody who's a little more established, don't want no kids. Or if he has a kid, okay, see what kind of person, kind of father he is. Because you're going to run into that. A 55-year-old woman, you dealing with a 40-year-old guy, it's probably a good chance he has a kid.
Okay. Okay.
So you probably deal with him and see, where his head is at, and if he's not a gold digger or he's trying to, you'll find out too if you say, hey, let's go such a place, and he's like, that I can't afford that. Then you know that he's thinking about paying for this. Okay,
So
he's
you
aware.
test his pocket.
Yes.
So the lady's like,
Yes, you gotta test his
we
pocket.
do just a little quick test. Hey, how about we fly out to Rome tomorrow? Type of thing.
Yes, and if you say,
Okay.
oh, I'm good.
Oh, okay.
Now you know so you ain't got no job to call and say I'm not coming because you're going to go out of town, out of the country
Yeah.
for a couple of weeks. So that means he's just sitting there waiting for someone to take him somewhere.
So that's a serious test. Yeah. What type of job you got? How deep is your bank account? What type of credit you got?
There you go.
Mhm.
And a high value woman is going to look at that. See, because
Okay.
nowadays you can go on and say, let me go ahead and do a search. If you really thinking
A
about
little
doing that,
quick.
we do a little search on
We'll
this cat.
pretend like it's a Google search, but we all know it's a little bit deeper than
We
Google.
know damn well you're going to go ahead and you're going to spend that money, do a deep dive. You're going to spend that $19.99 to see what kind of
$29.95.
all that. You're going to
Just to
spend
dig
it.
just a little deeper.
I'm gonna have my little fingers in on there. I'm gonna find out what's going on. Make sure he ain't got no warrants. He ain't been to
Uh-huh.
jail. He ain't got nothing. His credit
Nothing
is
crazy popping out.
nothing
You don't owe
crazy.
nobody nothing ridiculous.
nothing crazy. And his
Yeah.
bank, his FICO score is 799.
Uh-huh.
You're gonna love that. Then you're gonna look and say, okay, he's clean background, high FICO score,
We can
nice
talk
guy.
now.
We can talk,
Yeah.
and you should be able to talk to him because now you see that he's not just out there looking for somebody like you. He's really he's grinding. He's trying to do what he needs to do to become a compatible mate for someone. He's striving to be a king. He's striving to be that next level. He's striving. And a lot of guys, well, let's say you weren't brought up with any king. You weren't surrounded by nothing but thugs, criminals, and just lowlifes. And again, that's the life for a lot of guys. Like you surround your uncle's uncle, all of them been in the same prison. They even got a cell with their names on it. Like the uncle going back, your great uncle going back.
Yeah, I get it.
Everybody same prison. So you know that you're not gonna learn nothing from them but how to continue to be a criminal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I want to be better. So I'm gonna have to search. I'm gonna have to find somebody. Maybe somebody at work. Maybe read some books. look at some movies. It takes a lot because you're gonna have to gather because you never had it. You never had the foundation of stability, of some stable role model to
Yeah,
learn from
and you
a
know it.
stable. Yeah, so you
Yeah.
gotta go search for it, and you going it may be somebody your best friend's father. It could be somebody else's uncle, but you're
Mhm.
gonna take all those little bits of pieces to make you level up. You're like I'm a level one king. Whew, I made to be a Burger King.
Yeah. At least I made it here
I
though.
made it
I'm not
here.
a jester anymore.
I am not
Yeah.
a joker. I am a level one king. So now I can strive to be better. And he's going to keep striving. He knows it's going to be a lifetime work.
Mhm.
Sometimes, in a lot of cases, being a king is a lifetime work. It
Mhm.
doesn't stop when you're like, whoo, I got it on my head. I got the crown on my head. I'm looking a certain way. No, 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 no. It's going to take a lifetime because you have to evolve.
Yeah, because you forget that you would be training as a child, the
Yes.
prince,
Yes.
right? You
Yes.
just don't wake up and start training to become the king. You train as the prince. See how
Exactly.
you conduct yourself as a prince and walk into that.
There's a code of conduct that all kings have to follow.
Mhm.
And you have to learn that. If you didn't learn it as a prince, eventually you got to learn to be a king. You're
Yeah.
gonna have to learn it. It's
Yeah.
not one of those things where you're like, I can stumble on it. Yeah, you can stumble your entire life and still be a joker.
Yeah. Still gonna miss.
Still gonna miss.
Mhm.
But you have to know that you have to do the work to become that. And that goes back to, the women and the guys who want to be kings and queens. It's work associated with that. It's a
Mhm.
learning experience associated
Mhm.
with that.
It's more than just the word to kind of throw around. There's
Yes.
absolutely a bit of leadership and responsibility that goes with it. Even like the little children who want to be princesses.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter and I were walking into the store the other day, and she was like, "Mommy, you're the queen. I'm the princess." And I was like, "True,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
absolutely."
Yes.
But do you also know that that comes with responsibilities? And we just kind of spoke about an expectation, very lightly of a princess and how a princess is supposed to conduct herself
Mm-hmm.
and how a queen is supposed to conduct herself.
Exactly.
Because we don't just get to give ourselves these titles and just, act any
Mm-mm.
old type of way,
No, you can't. You can't.
right?
And your daughter is
Yeah.
blessed enough to have a queen
Uh-huh.
to learn from. There's a lot
Absolutely.
of princesses that don't even have a queen.
Mhm.
They just got a wicked stepmama or a wicked witch.
Mhm.
So
That is
what?
their mother.
Exactly. So what did the princess learn from that point?
Mhm.
What
They
happens? You
don't learn
nope,
proper etiquette.
no, at all.
Uh-huh.
So then they start looking at other little princesses who maybe had the same type of mama. So eventually, you have a whole bunch of princesses looking at wicked witches' mamas,
Mhm.
and then you're surprised when they grow up to be a wicked witch.
Mhm.
It's important to know that you as a queen is teaching the prince's daughter how to be a queen,
Absolutely.
and you also understand that you as a queen is not only influencing your daughter who is the princess, you're actually influencing other little princesses who don't have queens as for mamas like you.
Well, so for my take, the queen influences much of the community,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's sort of the job of the queen, so to speak, right?
Mm-hmm.
You interact with the community, you interact with the poor, you interact with the common folk, you interact with the children, you interact, influence all of these people in your um in your kingdom, right?
Mm-hmm.
All
Mm-hmm.
these people underneath you.
Mm-hmm.
And you teach people to um walk in your footsteps, so to speak, right? To
Mm-hmm.
strive to live how you live. And so you live a clean lifestyle, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
um, because you're the face that most people see. It's unlike the king,
Mm-hmm.
where he's so reserved and taken back. The kids see him,
Mm-hmm.
but they
True.
don't spend the same amount of time with him.
No.
So he does not work on the children the same way that the woman works on the children.
Mm-hmm.
And so the way that the woman moves around, it's not the same way that, or the queen moves around. It's certainly not the same way that the king would move around.
Mm-hmm.
To be one who kind of tethers the fence, where you have to be strong but still graceful,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because you still
Exactly.
want to be able to connect with people,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't allow people to take advantage of you. Um,
Exactly.
you have to be able to empathize with people, but not necessarily sympathize and give all your energy and self to situations, right? The
Exactly.
children are feuding. One kid hurt the other kid's feelings. They didn't hurt you. My feelings can't be hurt, right? But I
Yeah.
have to stop both of them,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Sure do.
punish them both and tell them what is proper. Somebody's going to be sad. I
True.
can't carry that emotion. I have to carry on.
Exactly.
So the queen walks in a way that is something that one can model, right? The
Mm-hmm.
children look up to that person as an absolute role model,
Mm-hmm.
in the way that they speak and the way that they interact with others and the way that you kind of go about in the community.
Mm-hmm.
For today's woman, um, you would see someone who was educated.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that doesn't necessarily mean career restricted,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but educated in a worldly sense,
Mm-hmm.
to where you just really know a lot about a lot because you've spoken to so many people,
Mm-hmm.
right?
True.
You've seen so many things. You've actually allowed people to take down the layers and gotten to really know people on levels that other people wouldn't allow because you come in so soft,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Very true.
You have to stay soft, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, we're tethering the fences of staying soft but also staying strong. The
Exactly.
queen never loses that strength,
No, never.
right? It never falters.
No,
Um, because pretty much her strength comes from her king. So he's going to keep her strong if he's a good king,
that's
because
true.
she goes out and she gives herself to so many people.
That is very true.
She's very selfless. So the very idea of being caught up on materialistic things of today that so many women can get caught up on.
And what you just said was women. You didn't say queen. You said women.
Yeah, yeah, because
It,
there's a difference
it
in having nice things and getting caught up on just the materialistic things of today. At what point is enough handbags enough?
and you're right. And who suffers when the queen is not a queen but becomes a
A
like
woman of today's world.
exactly.
Yeah, it's normally the family unit and then it trickles down into the community. Because again, how I move
Mm-hmm.
is what the other young ladies see me move,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so then they
Exactly.
want what I have. And so if I show them that I'm out here accumulating lots of things,
Mm-hmm.
then they start to assume that their job is to come up behind me and also accumulate a lot of things.
Wow.
So then they demand things from their counterpart. So then the young boys come up and they see the queen or the person who they thought was a queen
Mm-hmm.
accumulating just stuff, lots of
Yeah.
stuff. And they think that they're supposed to contribute to this accumulation of stuff. Again,
Yep.
the queen has the children looking at her.
And you know what? I don't think a lot of women realize that in
Yeah.
today's world.
Yes.
I think because if you're brought up older, you know, like we are, we're used to seeing Big Mama,
Mhm.
and Big Mama controlled. I mean, she
Mhm.
it wasn't a money thing. It was kind of like I expect my young women, my young princes, to prince and princesses both in some
Yes.
cases to
Yes.
do certain things and act a certain way.
Yes.
There's no way. For instance, I'm looking at just dress. I see so many young princes dressing in such a way that you shouldn't be. Age age appropriate.
The
It's not
princess.
the princess.
Uh-huh.
Just putting on things that and when you see it, you know, and I'm like, how did you get out the house wearing something like that? And then you see the quote unquote queen mama look like her. I said, oh, you getting it from her? You teach this what you teach the princess?
Yeah.
Is this? So how did it get so distorted?
Um, ease. Remember the queen's feelings and how I empathize with you, I do not sympathize with you.
Mm-hmm.
So although you wanted to wear that really cute, super short dress, and
Mm-hmm.
it is going to break your heart, and baby girl, I feel the heartbreak, but I don't give a damn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's take off the dress,
There you go.
right? And
Yes.
that's the difference between the queen and just the woman
Mm.
and just a woman, right?
Yes.
Where like you actually care about your child's feelings, but you don't care to mold them into something that's going to be great. Because the woman
Yes.
who's dressed like their child does care about their child's feelings, cared so much that they didn't want them to be miserable and say, yeah, you can wear that outfit, right? It's a
Yes.
cute outfit. I
Yes.
know it's cute because it looked just like mine.
Exactly. But why?
But it's for me and my age group. Why would you be having this on?
But
We're
then
not.
that means you bought it.
No, I did buy it. Yes.
So you.
So in that store,
Oh my
when
God.
I went and picked up my outfit, right?
Uh
And
huh.
you were with me because I take you out shopping. Again, I teach you everything I
Mm-hmm.
know. And we were in the store, and I pretty much allowed you to shop around in the same section that I shopped around. And
Mm-hmm.
you picked up the same outfit that I picked up. And then you said, can I get this? And I said, no. And then you said,
Oh.
you cried.
Wow.
And I cared and said, you know
Oh.
what? Oh, you broke my heart.
Oh no.
Your heart is broken. My heart is broken. I don't want your heart to be broken. Get the outfit. No. No, like, oh, baby, I remember when my heart was broke at that age. And guess what? The queen that was teaching me told me, put that down.
Yep. Exactly. Yep.
This is my department. We actually don't shop in the same department.
Nope. No.
And we will carry on.
Yes.
It's just an ease of teaching. So when you
Yep.
say why does the mom and the child have these similar, it is an ease of teaching. I don't
Wow.
have to kind of go through the hard struggle part. Again, that's the idea of being strong
Yes.
and soft at the same time.
Yes. Yes.
It's a tightrope. As I say, you're tethering it. It's a hard walk to walk.
Yes, it is. And I think there's, I'm just going to say this, it may be controversial. I don't even care. We have such a low number of actual queens in today's society,
Yes.
which is causing the other issues that we're seeing in our society. And at some
Absolutely.
point, the queens need to get together and say, I don't know how you do it, but you need to come together as a unit and say, a queen unit, and say, we need to go ahead and put these princesses together and get them straight.
We need a little training. That's what
Yes.
you're saying.
I think like
Yeah.
when you, and this sounds crazy, not crazy, but I'm gonna say it, like summertime, the kids got out of school and everything. It's like the queens is some sort of training program for young princesses during the summer months.
Mm-hmm.
So they can know how to properly dress, how to properly eat, how to properly order,
How to properly conduct themselves.
exactly. I don't want to train
Yeah.
them to be, just some robots, but there's certain core things that they just need to know to be out in this world as princesses trying to become queens.
Right.
And I'm thinking if they're not getting it from the quote unquote or lack thereof queens at home,
Mm-hmm.
it has to be someplace where you can send these babies to learn the core of how to become queens.
We don't got. I don't
have
know
that.
anything
We-
about like that.
And that's the problem.
Because I could say the same thing for our princes,
Same exact thing.
right?
It's like you need to say, I'm going to, again, go back to one of our earlier episodes and unfuck their minds
Mm-hmm.
and say, yeah, you were brought up this way, but to be honest, you're gonna die in this society being the way you're heading.
Yeah.
Because we can nip it in the bud. But we just
Yeah.
need to give them an alternative. Say, okay, forget the TVs, forget the videos, forget the songs and all that stuff. Let's pull you in a setting that we can teach you
Yeah.
how to do certain, how you handle certain things,
Let
how
me
you do.
introduce you to something that you're not necessarily familiar with.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes, and this, it's sad because that's going to influence the next round of princes and princesses and kings and queens, because if you don't give them that, then you're going to be used to jokers who think they're kings.
I mean, we're pretty much diluting the population,
Yes,
especially when you talk about living in America,
yes,
right?
yes, yes,
It seems like the schools just get, I
yes.
hate to say dumber and dumber each year. We
It
keep
is.
talking about how the countries that are not our country are just outdoing us.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seems like we're diluting, ourselves. And to speak within our own culture of people,
Mm-hmm.
we're really suffering
Yes.
as far as how we perform.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and nobody cares. No, the greater society really doesn't care. Let me tell you, the greater society don't really care about anybody,
Mm-hmm.
unless you have money. If you have money, then they care about you because now you can influence certain things.
Right.
We as people who don't have money, we need to say enough's enough. The teacher's not going to teach. The teacher's not going to teach your kid how to be a functioning human being.
Mm-hmm.
They're there to teach reading, writing,
And
and
not going to
arithmetic.
teach your kid how to be great.
No, no, they're not.
Let's be real.
Nope, you're right.
Right.
Yep, you're absolutely right.
Especially today's teacher.
Oh,
And I hate to say it, because I used to believe that, at least that when I was in school, there was at least good handful of teachers,
yes.
solid handful
Yep.
in the building, every building
That's true.
that was out there. If you was good, trying to
Mm-hmm.
get to great, they
Mm-hmm.
would get you there,
Yes,
right?
they will. They
In
would.
today's school, I don't know who in the building cares, but it's less than a handful.
Wow. Yes.
I think I just said every building, it used to be a handful. This is like every other building.
Yes.
You're
That
getting
is true.
You might have one or two teachers who actually care, and
Maybe.
they on their way to being retired,
And can't wait till that day
and
comes to
can't
retire.
wait.
And who's replacing them? Nobody. Not them.
Yeah.
The people that are replacing them aren't the queens they used to be.
Mm-hmm.
They're just trying to collect a check, keep the kid quiet. Basically babysitters. You're babysitting kids.
Mm-hmm.
You're not really teach them anything. You're like, as long as you don't cut nobody, shoot nobody, or stab nobody, and you
At
good.
this point, that doesn't even matter.
Damn. Wow. That's true. That is very
They'll
true.
sit inside the classroom and let situations be created. Where do you think the stabbing, shooting, fighting, all that comes from? It started in them rooms. Teachers turning their head. That ain't our problem until it's a big problem.
Wow. And then there's a kid in there who really wants to learn, but can't learn because you got knuckleheads in there, causing confusion. Now, the class clown, the moron, I won't say moron, but moron in training. But the kids don't, the teachers ain't really training them, trying to say, hey, you can't do that, because next thing they want to fight the teacher. Which, again, back in the day, if you try to fight a teacher when we was growing up, well, we would have this podcast. I've been gone.
What we just say? Little princess in training, little princess in training.
Yes, that's what we should be training.
That's misconduct.
Yep.
You're a young boy,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to challenge the person who was supposed to be teaching you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Person to be honoring that person who was so willing to allow you to sit here and learn from them.
Learn from them.
Right?
Yes.
Doing you a favor, and we can get so angry and aggressive to where we fight and just act any old type of way.
And to me, it's like that starts at home.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it goes back to kings and queens being in a home, teaching the princes and the prince how to act.
Mm-hmm.
You hear people, my kid don't act like that at home.
Yes,
I'm pretty sure they do.
Yes,
You just
they
don't.
do.
You may not be aware of it because your head may
you're
be stuck on
aware.
a phone or on a computer or in a bottle or who knows what. But that's your job as a parent.
I've never seen nobody's child go from. 0 to 10,
Yeah.
and you didn't know about it.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
By
But you didn't want to handle
third
it.
grade, you know about it. You know your child. Teacher
Exactly.
done called your house too many times. You done saw that on the call ID because you know you ignored the phone calls.
Yep, exactly. You're like, oh, I don't want to deal with that. And then you look at them,
Yes.
what you doing in school? And the kid ain't gonna tell you, cause kid like, mama,
Yeah.
I don't know what what they
And you
calling
don't
for.
want to really know, so I won't really tell you.
And then so you're setting this kid up for failure. That's
Mhm.
basically what we're talking about.
Mhm.
You're setting your young prince and princess up for
Mhm.
failure, because now as they grow, it's not gonna be cute when they're little.
Uh-uh.
Now they're gonna become little adults when they become teenagers and acting a
Mhm.
fool in school
Mhm.
and dress a
But
certain
that's your
way.
princess, though.
Ah,
That's your princess.
yeah.
But she was able to cuss the teacher out
Oh,
because she walked into the classroom late and the teacher said something to her. But that's your
oh.
princess.
And that's the problem we are having today, because you cannot wait till your princess is 14, 15 years old. Now I'm gonna put my foot down and make sure that you follow my rules. They about to get your house.
Mhm.
You wanna hear that?
Mhm.
So now you got somebody in your face telling you what they ain't gonna do. Your princess is telling the queen what she ain't gonna do.
Yeah. What you not gonna do to me? No, I am.
Yes, you will.
I am.
But
But
there's
technically, I been did it to you.
mm-hmm.
So mine's not gonna be in my face telling me what they not gonna do. Cause I've been raised you the right way.
Ben, day
Been.
one.
Day one. That's a prince. He's in
Yes.
training. He was in training from day one.
There you go. There you go.
It
Day
didn't just
one.
start.
And it never stops. And you believe it or
It
not,
never
it
stops.
never stops.
Mhm.
Because once you grow, once you become, an adult, they're always gonna come back to
Mhm.
you. Because
Mhm.
if that lesson you taught them as a kid got them to where they are,
Yes.
they're gonna constantly come to you because they're still learning. And
Yes.
you're still evolving as a queen. Because you're like, you don't know everything. As you get older and you start to adapt to certain things, and you're
Absolutely.
gonna get them aware of certain things, and you're gonna tell them, and there's certain things that they may see that we never seen or you never seen
Mhm.
as a queen, that they're gonna say, mama, this is happening out there. And then you go back to your core value, because no matter what happens, you stick to your core values. I think that's what
Absolutely.
happens a lot. A lot of people get out there and say, oh, well, such can do it. Why can't I do it? Well, such don't live with me. And if
Mhm.
such did live with me, she'd be
Mhm.
like you.
And they wouldn't be doing that.
Mm.
Choices would be different. It would have been raised different.
Now, here's a question.
We're not all queens and kings.
So this is very true, and here's a very good question. What if say that your little princess has a sleepover, and she gets other little princesses to come to your house,
Mhm.
and you start to notice that some of them other princesses acting a little older than they should be, saying little things he should be saying. What do you, as a queen in your house, how you gonna handle that situation?
It can go both ways. It can be a slumber party with the princes
Mm-hmm.
where you thought it was, a certain age group and a certain age group appropriate conversation you would expect that kind of went sideways,
Yep.
you
Yep.
know.
Mm-hmm.
Um and it could also be, your princesses where you thought it was a certain age group and you thought an age appropriate conversation that they would have had went sideways.
Mm-hmm.
So number one, that conversation with that little group slumber party,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't matter if it's the males or the females. It can always go sideways. I always say it goes back to being the queen.
Mm-hmm.
I affect all of those children, right?
Yes, you
So
do.
I'm going to speak to all of those kids in that group
Mm-hmm.
about what they talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Because whatever you're speaking about, me and my daughter already talked about it.
True.
Whatever
Absolutely.
you talking about, me and my son already covered that on a level that is appropriate for your age.
Exactly.
So for me to correct a child's conversation that's perhaps a little too grown for her age group or for his age group,
Mm-hmm.
it's nothing for me.
Okay.
Because I'm a queen. That's my job. It's to keep you kids children as
Mm-hmm.
long as you can stay children. And clearly you're in the group where you're affecting my child directly.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So I really got to work on you.
That is very true.
I really have to work on you. And for the boys, in my opinion, boys tend to kind of fall for peer pressure a little more than females. So I'm really going to speak to the male friends around you who's
Yes.
speaking whatever bit of crazy. I'm here to correct it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do it in front of him. I'm gonna do it, behind his back. Whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and as many times as possible. Now, am I going to limit how much interaction you might have with the person who might be a little overexposed?
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps.
Ah.
Perhaps.
Okay.
Because I don't want to make my job harder than it has to be.
Exactly.
I don't have to expose my child to something that I've already identified as being too much exposure.
Exactly. And you brought that up.
Yeah.
Okay, now you talk about music. Now let's say what type of music would you let your princess listen to at her current age?
What do you mean? What kind?
Well, we was growing up.
We in TikTok era.
Yeah, exactly.
We're in TikTok era.
So
6 and 7.
Yeah.
It'd be bad. I'm not letting it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
My opinion, a lot of children are censored, meaning they know better, so to speak, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know that if that song gets to saying all the words that you know that you're not allowed to hear or say it, repeat.
Yes.
First of all, you shouldn't be recording on top of that song because it's the first thing you have to learn. Because these kids have to understand how to survive in that whole virtual world without you, even when you put the restrictions on their devices.
That is very true.
I mean, you can restrict up that device to where they almost hate it.
Oh,
right?
Wow. Is that bad now?
That was what you mean now? That was 10 years ago. That was my son's first phone.
Oh,
he gave the phone back.
Oh, wow.
It was an iPhone.
Oh.
And when I say I did that, I did that.
Oh, no. So he's trying to search around because hey, you hear the latest
it'll restrict petty stuff if you get too carried away with the restrictions.
Oh, really?
I think he was maybe 8 or something like that, 8 or 9, and he said I can do nothing on this phone, and he gave the phone back, and I had to calm down the restrictions on the device. But that was before TikTok even though.
Yeah.
But I just feel like with TikTok and all the other little apps that they have, they will get exposed to some. They can get exposed to some crazy music. Snippets, at least.
That's
Snippets.
true.
Yeah.
And they don't need much because these kids are smart. All they get a few
just
words,
just a little piece,
and you start going to that particular level.
But children will, what you allow them to listen to, what I listen to. I listen to a lot of soul music, a lot of clean music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then let's say you have one of their friends, one of the other little princesses, listen to Megan Thee Stallion or
I'll first of all, me and her mother's gonna have a whole conversation.
Can you
the
imagine?
Other part. I'm not leaving these children's parents out of these conversations.
So so what you're saying is it's just not conversation just for the little ones.
No.
You're gonna bring in the other supposed queens.
No, I'm gonna call them later because the scenario was we was at a slumber party.
Yeah.
Right, and I kind of walked past the room and I overheard something that they probably shouldn't have been saying. So I nipped that right in the bud. I went in. I said, "Whoa, what are we talking about in here? Let me tell y'all a story about this and what we do and don't do type of thing." Right. Later on, I'm gonna have to call up a few moms. Yep. Hey, this is what we spoke about.
Yes.
Let's be mindful of this. Let's be careful of that.
Yes. And then what would happen if she said my daughter can listen to anything she want to listen to?
Bye. First of all, what we're not about to do is about to go to war. Because I'm going to let you
say girl bye?
Yes. Because I wish a mom would, be on the phone with me when I'm telling you, something not about your daughter, about our daughters.
There you go. Because you just brought that up. We're a family. We're a village.
Yeah, what your child is doing directly influence what my child is doing and feeling and seeing.
Mm-hmm.
See, now I restrict my child's phone.
Mm-hmm.
I talk to my kid about what they should be seeing, what
Mm-hmm.
is appropriate to be allowed to enter into, your space.
Yes.
You forgot to have that conversation with
Oh,
your
I ain't gonna have
child.
that conversation.
You ain't gonna have it at all. You don't even care to have it. So
No.
now when your kid's sitting on the bus next to my kid, doing whatever they want to do on their unrestricted device, try to
Mm-hmm.
involve my child into that.
Yes, because then you know it's gonna happen. Well, see, that goes back to the princess, the prince and the princess understanding and knowing right from wrong, and really standing up and being a leader instead of a
Absolutely.
follower. And that's the other
Absolutely.
issue. You teach queens and kings teach their kids, their princes and princes
Mhm.
leadership.
Mhm.
You don't follow everybody; they
Mhm.
follow you.
But how many times my little prince is gonna come home and say, "Hey, ma, such and such had this on their cell phone today," before they just kind of dismiss them as having bad behavior.
Yep. Yes, that's true.
Sooner than later, they're gonna start normalizing certain things that other people do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you're really limiting that overexposure. Or
Yes.
at least you're attempting to.
Yeah.
Because your job is to teach your kings, surround your
Yes.
kings, your kings to be like-minded people.
Like-minded people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
again, that's telling these babies to avoid peer pressure, because you know that becomes an issue, because peer pressure becomes a big issue in when it comes to those kids growing up. So we have to teach them leadership. That's important. You have to start them young, because if you don't
Yeah.
teach them leadership when they're little,
Yeah.
they'll follow anybody.
Yes. Absolutely. Starting from them being as small as just 6 months, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They're allowed to do certain things. You start ushering them into certain positions.
Mm-hmm.
2, 3 toddlers,
Mm-hmm.
start teaching them to take up for themselves. You're
Yep.
fostering that leadership every day, in a male and in a female,
Mm-hmm.
to make choices that are our own choices,
Yes.
right? It's not
Yes.
a male thing, it's not a female thing, right? It's the right thing to do.
The right thing.
So you
Yes.
teach your children to do the right things, and understand that you can raise your children
Mm-hmm.
or you can raise kings and queens.
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
not the same.
Nope.
I think we're gonna wrap it up on that note.
Hey, it was a great conversation.
I enjoyed you.
Always a pleasure. Always, T. It's always a pleasure. Always.
You're on the mic with the Auntie. Thanks
Peoples,
again.
we'll holler at y'all later. Peace.